It may not be the final of sorts, but it is sort of a cup rematch of the FA Cup final. We're on the EFL Cup tonight for Manchester United against Crystal Palace, coming off their emphatic 4-0 win against Championship side Reading in the FA Cup. Now they look to take the initiative in the first leg of the EFL Cup semi-finals. A bit of a new format. In the other semi-final, we have the surprise teams of Burnley and Stoke City in the other side. Zlatan Ibrahimovic back in the squad today. Most of the main squad rested for the FA Cup match against Reading are back today. With a few changes, of course, but it is mostly a full-strength side. Let's take a look at what Jose's brought out today. David De Gea is in goal with Smalling, Jones, Piqué and Shaw. It's Rudy with Herrera, Mkhitaryan, Depay and Pogba in the midfield. Zlatan up top by himself as usual. For Crystal Palace, Mandanda is in goal with Kelly, Tonkins, Dan and Square. It's Kabay with Yaza and Wilfred Zaha with another matchup against one of his former clubs. It's Andros Townsend with Chu Yun-sun and Christian Benteke up top by himself. So actually Taylor gets this matchup underway, and one of the first tasks for new manager Sam Allardyce, unbelievably, who has only been in charge a matter of weeks for Crystal Palace. This is probably his toughest opponents yet. Manchester United with a semi-final place on the line. Well, final place on the line, we should say. And it's always good to have characters like Zlatan Ibrahimovic in your team and be kind of a light-hearted type. Zlatan! And he's put it in. Absolutely no surprise. The clinicalist of Zlatan Ibrahimovic has struck again. A great pass here from Herrera. And Zlatan can do the rest. Emphatic strike. And Manchester United have the lead here. Oh, what a strike. Mandanda is nowhere. The brilliance of Zlatan Ibrahimovic has struck again, and Manchester United have the lead. And the rout continues as far as Manchester United are concerned. The entire team is just dominating the English game at the moment. And if Jose can keep hold of these players for one more year, and Manchester United have make the Champions League, look out. Jones up against Benteke, and Jones wins. And that's the end of the first half. Manchester United not the scoring force they've been, but Zlatan Ibrahimovic will make good on our chance if you can give him it. He probably should have had two, but Manchester United asserting dominance in this first half. Zlatan has given his team the lead. United 1, Palace 0. And now here's Zlatan. And next for Manchester United, the big one in the English game against Liverpool at Old Trafford. Memphis. Chris Smalling getting it back in. Straight to Mandanda though. By Shaw. Such wonderful defensive performance. It's Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And it is game over. And Zlatan gets another one. And maybe what he said was true. He just gets better. Like a fine wide, and boy is he doing it. Like we said earlier, Zlatan looks better with every passing day. Age? What's that? It's a concept that Zlatan Ibrahimovic does not care about in the slightest. And he has 2 goals today. And Manchester United have one hand or 1 foot in the final of the EFL Cup. They do have to progress through the second leg, of course, but it's going to be tough for Palace to come back from this now. There is still 12 minutes to play, however. And 1 goal immediately changes it from a Crystal Palace perspective. If the away goals all counts, which I'm not sure it does. Here's Remy off the post. And a little bit of complacency there from Manchester United. And that'll spark Palace into life. Of course, it could go the other way. And it may do. Herrera. And out for throw. We have a double substitution for Manchester United. And you can understand what Jose's doing here, taking Zlatan off. Wants to probably save him for the Liverpool game. He'll come off for Angel Correa. Well, Juan Mata will come on for Ander Herrera. So 2 important players for United making way. And he'll be dressed up as much as possible for the Liverpool game. Final substitution for Manchester United. He's taking Paul Pogba off as well. And Zlatan is Jose rather is saving all his big options for the Liverpool game if need be. And Joe Riley is going to make an appearance here for the final 6 minutes. Correa, Memphis. It's Memphis. It's put it in. 3-0. And it is all but settled now. Not just for this game, but probably for the tie as well. It's looking like an uphill battle for Crystal Palace. As far as the second leg is concerned, it's Memphis Depay. He's put it in. Not the best shot he's ever struck, but it crosses the goal line, and that's all he'll care about. It's another goal for the Friday Memphis Depay. And that is the end of the game, and Manchester United have 1 foot in the door of the EFL Cup final, and we haven't even played the second leg yet. Palace didn't look like scoring. They showed signs of maybe some life, but Zlatan, Ibrahimovic and Memphis did the business at the attacking end, and Manchester United, it's just yet another faultless performance in what has been a surprising but fantastic season for them, in where they can do absolutely no wrong at the moment. Manchester United with a second leg 3-0 lead against Crystal Palace to take into, and they don't look like bowling it. United 3, Palace 0. In the other fixture, Stoke have a 1-0 away win, and a vital away win at that, to take it back home in the reverse fixture. They lead by a goal to 0. The biggest fixture in the English game, round 2 of Old Trafford, and Manchester United versus Liverpool today. And Liverpool will be looking for many signs of redemption today after their emphatic 3-0 loss against Manchester United back at Anfield back near the beginning of the season, where Marcus Rashford literally destroyed them. But he only makes the bench for the Manchester United team today. As we have a look at the table, Liverpool slowly but surely getting back into that top 4. Manchester United running away with it at the top at the moment, but it is all likely to change, no doubt about that. Well, bit of speculation surrounding David De Gea recently. It looks like transfer kind of rumours have started again as we kind of begin the silly season period, where it is what always is with transfer windows. But with David De Gea, it never seems to go away, does it? And it looks like there's some latest rumblings going on there. But I think having signed a new contract just recently, David De Gea will be very quick to play down those rumours, I'm sure. But with Manchester United, when David De Gea's name comes up in a transfer window, there's always legitimate worry surrounding it. But Jose Mourinho says he has no worries about any of his men leaving anytime soon. Semedo was cut out by Maine really early there. There's Sturridge. Sturridge in the box. Oh my word. And he did one of the hard work, passing PK at one stage. And then hit a shot quite like that, to be honest. It's almost a carbon copy of his emphatic miss back at Anfield. And I need to put that right rather soon, Daniel Sturridge. Great move by Sturridge. I don't know what it is with Daniel Sturridge. He seems really unsettled here. Another unnecessary shot, and that was his first one. Daniel Sturridge, normally prolific, but recently he's been struggling in this matchup anyway. Oh, Manchester United's double cup victory against the likes of Reading, and then later Crystal Palace just has them, well, the Crystal Palace thing on the verge of a cup final, with one leg left to progress into the final of the EFL Cup. Oh, it's through for Sturridge, and he's wide again. And Daniel Sturridge's struggles against Manchester United continue here. Probably should have scored there, to be honest. And you have to think Jurgen Klopp is furious. Alberto Moreno putting it forward to Eriksen. Oh, Lucas has turned out his man. Sturridge. Brilliantly played, but great recovery from Marcus Rojo. But has he given away a penalty? The referee says no. Kevin Stewart is met by a great tackle by, again, it might have been Marcus Rojo. And there's some intent here from Liverpool. Sturridge. Straight to David De Gea. Back out to Lucas. Well, a rather subdued first half comes to an end. No goals to speak of. At this point in the reverse fixture, Paul Pogba giving Manchester United the lead. But today, it's been rather subdued and not a lot going on. Liverpool certainly showing more intent in this first half. But unfortunately, it's resulted in no goals, with Sturridge having a bit of a difficult game, to be honest. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 0. Second half here at Old Trafford, 0-0 against Manchester United Liverpool. Substitution being made as Gerard Piqué comes off for Phil Jones. I think Piqué played in the fixture against Crystal Palace, so that might have something to do with it. And it's size for size, really. And you replace that with passion against Phil Jones as well. I think this game needs a little bit of oomph in it. And rather subdued. Here's Stewart. An early chance. Semedo gets caught. Referee plays advantage. And Sturridge. And again, Sturridge is struggling against Manchester United. Oh, what is going on in Daniel Sturridge's head? It must be really messing with him at the moment. Christian Eriksen getting a bit frustrated. Next fixture for Manchester United will be Stoke City. And here comes Sadio Mane. It's straight to the keeper. Mane to Carvalho. Carvalho with a delightful ball to Mane. That's better. Mane and Sturridge. And he's missed it. And Daniel Sturridge. Johan Klopp has got to think of taking him off. He's been dreadful. Jones. Now to Sturridge again. And he scored it this time. And Daniel Sturridge. Well, that's curse of the commentators. I've been suffering that all season, haven't I? Why did I say one thing and then the opposite happens? And it certainly happened here with Daniel Sturridge, who's had a pretty poor afternoon, but I don't all have to count like that. And he slotted that one past De Gea, and finally something goes right for Daniel Sturridge against Manchester United. And that is exactly what United don't need. And Daniel Sturridge has given Liverpool the lead. Certainly a lot more intent about Liverpool this time around, and it's finally shown with the Sturridge goal. United behind by 1-0 here. Instant response for Jose Mourinho, and you can understand totally what's happening here. It's Marcus Rashford, the destroyer of this team in the Anfield game, and he's coming on now. And Johan Klopp is going to be thinking, oh dear. Well, Rashford had a bit of a dry patch before the game at Reading where he scored 2. Let's see if his vein of form can keep up with him now. 1-0 to Liverpool here. And they're certainly not playing well, United. Here's Pogba. Martial. Marcus Rashford. Into the box. Rashford has gone down. Nothing has been given by the referee. That's a stonewall penalty. And Liverpool come forward. And that's a bad ball. Manchester United fans screaming for a penalty. Nothing given. The referee. It's a poor decision. And here's Rashford again. Oh, and that's a bad tackle by Martial. He's definitely going to go into the box. Indeed he is. It's funny how Martial gets pulled for that foul, but Rashford doesn't get his penalty that he unduly deserved. I mean, there's no doubt that that's a yellow card. And probably some people will be thinking red. Studs was showing he was nowhere near the ball. Martial was lucky there, but that should definitely mean that Rashford has a penalty there. Then, if that's the case, because that was an awful challenge on Rashford. Goal scoring opportunity denied, quite literally. And a shot by Rashford! And he's done it again! Oh! Marcus Rashford. Unbelievable. And I am completely out of words. Wonderful tenacity by Rashford. The wherewithal to put that through. He had to slide to get there. The keeper's oncoming. And that's a Liverpool error. But Marcus Rashford, ever the pouncer, and he's done it against Liverpool again, and that is another saved result, and his 9th goal of the league, and probably his 15th overall when you put the totals up. Manchester United once again showing their late game prowess in Fergie time has just started, and Manchester United have equalised, and they haven't looked like doing it all game, to be honest. But they'll certainly take it. Christian Eriksen's going to make a meal of it. Surprised it wasn't booked for simulation. It doesn't matter. Manchester United will definitely feel it's a point game. They've not looked like scoring all afternoon. Liverpool were definitely the better side today, seeking redemption for their 3-0 thumping back at Anfield. But once again, it's that boy, Marcus Rashford, who just can do no wrong. And he's saved a point for United today. They didn't look like earning it, to be honest. And rather subdued affair in the first half. Picked up a bit in the second. And Jose, that's why Manchester United are who they are. And Marcus Rashford has done it again. No words need to be said than that. United won, Liverpool won. A point gain today. All thanks to the superbness that is Marcus Rashford. Let's have a look at the other results from today. Burnley's hopes of surviving the drop take another knock as they lost to Southampton today. Hull City lost also to Bournemouth by 2-1. Southampton won 2-0 against Burnley, by the way. Sunderland Stoke City was a 1-1 draw. Shock at Swansea as they beat Arsenal by 2-1, and they lose ground thanks to United's point gained at Old Trafford, and Watford beat drew with Middlesbrough 1-0. Well, despite Manchester United just earning their draw today, they gain another point on the chasing pack led by Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Spurs a little bit further behind. Liverpool gain a point on the top 4 chase. Bournemouth up to 6th. Eddie Howe is proving a surprise there. Chelsea down to 9th now. West Ham 8th. Stoke 7th. Watford in 10th. The champions Leicester down to 14th. Manchester City still in the relegation zone. And this table is just, what a wonder to look at. Everything is just so randomised, it seems. Everton and Burnley are down there with Manchester City in the relegation zone as well. Burnley, their fate is looking all but sealed now.